We're interested in defecting to APC. 3 Kebbi senators tell President Tinubu.
Mr. President has graciously blessed this resolution, and by Tuesday, I will urge you to go and see what will happen in the chambers.
Vice President Shetima flags off Hajj 2025 airlift, charges Commission on ensuring a successful exercise. And federal government rolls out more CNG conversion centers and retail outlets.
The energy transition program is less than 1 year old. We're already seeing the benefits.
Good evening, I'm Lami Ali. Welcome to the Network News on NTA. On the team tonight is Hinginu John Adams in our Lagos studio. Benny Adams is here with the bits on business. So Benny, what is with our currency today in the markets?
Well, the currency is not doing badly. That is the naira against the dollar and other international currencies, as well as Nigeria's most prized crude oil, Bonny Light, is also doing very well against its peers in the international market. More details during the news.
All right, and on sports, we have Bade Adeleye with the latest updates. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now here is the full news in details. The wave of defection into the All Progressives Congress, APC, continues to spread across the country as the 3 senators from Kebbi State have declared their intention to join the ruling National Party. The senators made this known to President Bola Tinubu when he received political stakeholders from Kebbi, Sokoto and Zamfara states at the State House. The governors of Kebbi, Nasir Idris, and his counterpart from Sokoto, Ahmad Aliyu, as well as some former governors, were part of the meeting. After a closed-door meeting, National Chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, revealed that the senators have received the blessings of the president.
And it is in consonance with what is happening in Nigeria today. Almost every week in the Senate, House of Representatives, you see members of other political parties decamping into our party. So we came here so that Mr. President will bless this resolution. And Mr. President has graciously blessed this resolution. And by Tuesday, I will urge you to go and see what will happen in the chambers.
And leaders have also warned against a one-party state. Are you disturbed? Is that what you're looking at? Is that your agenda?
One-party state, you see, if one-party state is a wish and blessing to Nigeria, one-party state is not by force. One-party state is by negotiation. It's by other political parties seeing the effect of the positive governance of our party. If they decide to come into our party willingly, I think there's nothing like that. There's nothing with that. Today, democratic China is one of the most strong countries in the world, and it's a one-party system. We are not saying that we are working for one-party system, but if that is the wish of Nigerians, we cannot quarrel with that. You know, they say too many cooks spoil the soup. Too many political parties spoil governance.
National Chairman believes APC has the provision and enough experience to manage the additional population of the party. Astute politicians on the platform of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, have lined up in support of the transformative leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu beyond 2027 over what they described as a working presidency. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The group, led by former governor of Nasarawa State Senator Morutanko Almakura, said the CPC bloc of the All Progressives Congress APC is determined to contribute to the success of the present administration and affirmed that there is no faction or division amongst members.
We must remain steadfast, patient, and supportive. We commend the bold steps taken by President Tinubu, and we urge Nigerians to trust the process, knowing that the foundation being laid today will lead to a more prosperous and secure future.
Senator Almakura further appealed to Nigerians to rally around the renewed hope agenda of the president and urged those craving for immediate solutions to Nigerian economic challenges to remain resolute and confident under the APC administration.
As we move forward, we do so with renewed strength, a deep sense of responsibility, and an unshakable commitment to the APC and the success of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and ultimately the future of our beloved country.
Some of the chieftains at the World Press Conference were Governor Dikko Umar of Katsina State, former Governor of Katsina State Aminu Bello Masari, former Minority Leader of House of Representatives Farouk Adamu Aliyu, Chairman National Drug Law Enforcement Agency General Buba Marwa, among other chieftains of the APC. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima has enjoined the 2025 intending Hajj pilgrims to be good ambassadors of their country in the Holy Land while observing one of the pillars of Islam. He gave the advice while flagging off the inaugural flight for pilgrims to Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj exercise from Owerri, Imo State. Kingsley Ono News report is being presented.
For the first time in the political history of Imo State, Samambakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, is witnessing direct international flight operation of any kind with the inaugural airlift of Nigerian intending pilgrims from the country to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the 2025 Hajj. Flagging off the inaugural airlift of the intending pilgrims for this year's Hajj, Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Tinubu, urged the intending pilgrims to be good ambassadors of Nigeria in the Holy Land by ensuring that their conducts reflect those values the nation adores.
Treat your assignment as a trust from God. Let us learn from the mistakes of previous exercises and ensure that every pilgrim departs and returns with a heart full of gratitude and a voice free from complaints. There is no room for negligence while lives, hopes, and sacred obligations converge. And to our dear intending pilgrims, know that you are more than spiritual travelers. You are ambassadors of Nigeria. You carry with you not only your faith, but also the pride and dignity of this nation.
He also commended the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma for running an all-inclusive government for the residents of the state, irrespective of their religious affiliations. Governor Uzodinma, while thanking President Tinubu for approving the 2025 inaugural flight of the intending pilgrims for the Hajj from Imo State, noted that the state has long stood as a place of religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence.
The only airport built by individual contributions of citizens of this state, that it now serves as a departure point for an international pilgrimage, reflects not just our history, how far we have come.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, in his speech, urged Nigerians to love and respect each other, irrespective of religious affiliations.
If we really want to move our country to move forward, we have to respect one another. We have to respect various religious beliefs.
Out of the total number of 64,188 intending pilgrims for the 2025 Hajj, 315 of them from Imo, Abia, Bayelsa states are departing for the Holy Land from the Samambakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri.
Now, in a related development, the first flight of the Nigerian pilgrims has arrived in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj. The flight, which had 540 pilgrims as well as 6 NACON officials on board, landed safely at Mohammed bin Abdul Aziz International Airport, Medina, at about 4:30 Nigerian time. The pilgrims from Bauchi State are in high spirits and full of gratitude to the Almighty Allah for the safe flight. For the flights that took off simultaneously from Imo, Kebbi, Osun and Niger states are also expected to arrive in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia later tonight. A total of 40,671 Nigerian pilgrims have been registered by NACON to perform this year's Hajj from the government quota, as the outbound flights are built to be completed on or before 24th May 2025. Now, the National Assembly is embracing technology to enhance operations and enable lawmakers participate in sessions and vote on resolutions without being physically present. Strategies are being adopted to achieve this technology drive. The idea of e-parliaments aligns with the current judicial practice in Nigeria as provided in the Evidence Act, which allows the admission of computer-generated evidence in courts. This retreat for top management of the National Assembly is laying out plans and designing ways to effectively delegate and discharge responsibilities using digital platforms in the legislature.
The National Assembly of Nigeria is a major player in the international legislative space. So we can't afford to be left behind in terms of the trending development.
We are trying to see how we can bring in a full platform of digital system, the IT deployment, and the IT deployment should help us to work towards achieving that set dream of the e-parliament.
Especially with the increase in so many structures, like the House of Representatives has increased its number of committees from 109 to 147. And there are so many issues, so many things that have been introduced in the system which require qualified hands to handle.
The policy, when implemented, would create better understanding within the public space on the workings of the legislature, as proceedings, documents and records can be accessed online.
Transformation of our research methodologies, digitalization of our system, especially the archiving system, these are all the things we need digital transformation to achieve.
To preserve institutional memory, and we are going to look at things like staff discipline, and we do look a little bit into staff welfare also.
Management would be able to develop a strategy, work plan, and vision that would help to keep in place the very important role that National Assembly plays in supporting and sustaining our democracy.
The retreat has as its theme building an accountable, transparent and resilient parliament. Now, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative is focused on intensifying efforts to expand CNG conversion centers nationwide, aiming for 500 centers and 150 retail outlets by the end of 2025. The Chief Executive Officer of the Presidential Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, noted that this push is in line with President Tinubu's mandate for the initiative. Lydia Sampson reports.
Owners of vehicle conversion centers across Nigeria have applauded the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, crediting the program for its rapid growth and positive impact on the sector.
The CNG initiative is a timely and strategic intervention that addresses both economic and environmental challenges while creating a sustainable opportunities for citizens and businesses across Nigeria.
The conversion center operators distance themselves from recent criticism and alleged smear campaigns against the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. They reaffirmed their support for the PCNGI's mission to deliver cleaner, cheaper transport for Nigerians. While thanking them for their continued support, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative leadership says the initiative remains focused on delivering targets undeterred by opposition and criticism.
It's important that we all focus, following one course until successful. The energy transition program is less than 1 year old. We're already seeing the benefits. Reduction in transportation fare in key routes. Enablement of prosperity and opportunities for businesses and business people. We are going to stay the course.
He acknowledged that the opposition is entitled to their opinions. However, a line must be drawn between deliberate smear campaigns and patriotism. The initiative underscores the administration's resolve to drive sustainable energy reforms and economic growth without distraction. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has released results of 1,911,551 candidates who sat in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. Olayinka Ojo reports that the results of 39,834 candidates are withheld, while 1,426 others are under scrutiny.
Out of a total of 2,030,862 candidates that registered for the 2025 UTME, more than 1.9 million were successfully verified and sat for the examination. However, 71,705 candidates were absent and 2,157 had their fingerprints rejected.
Statistics from the 2025 UTME indicates a significant reduction in cases of examination malpractices. The various innovative measures introduced by the board are proving effective.
According to JAMB, 4,756 candidates scored 320 and above, while 24.9% scored between 140 and 159. And a total of 2,031 candidates scored below 100. Regarding underage applicants, JAMB disclosed that 41,027 candidates fell into this category. However, 467 met the benchmark score required for exceptional candidates. Responding to cases of examination malpractice, such as WhatsApp runs, attempted substitution of self by candidates, double NIN registration, among others, the board reports that 21 states were flagged for infractions, with Anambra State topping the list.
We will not allow people. We will make sure that we, working with NIMSI and other agencies, ensure that we block this type of loopholes.
In its commitment to uphold the integrity of CBT process, JAMB announced the delisting of 4 CBT centers due to substandard performance and fraudulent practices, while 3 others have been blacklisted over technical deficiencies. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The National Communication Team has reviewed its midterm performance to ensure transparency and accountability in public communication. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who leads the team, expressed satisfaction with the synergy between the team and relevant stakeholders. The team evaluated the effectiveness of its strategies in disseminating government policies, programs and achievements to the Nigerian public and the international community. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, noted the unity of purpose and coordination, which has significantly enhanced the quality, coherence and reach of public messaging on the policies and achievements of the Tinubu administration. He stressed the need to strengthen partnership in order to ensure that government communication is more strategic, evidence-based and responsive to public concerns, noting that the improved collaboration has contributed to building public trust and increasing awareness of the renewed Hope Agenda's impact across critical sectors such as the economy, infrastructure, health, education, social services, among others. The minister encouraged stakeholders to deepen the cooperation maintain high standards of professionalism, and continue to speak with one voice in promoting the administration's successes, both nationally and internationally. The National Communication Team resolved to intensify efforts in showcasing the achievements of the Tinubu administration in sectors such as rural economy, infrastructure development, agriculture, and the ongoing fight against insecurity, among others. The National Communication Team reaffirms its commitment to building an inclusive national conversation that underscores the impact of government efforts while promoting civic participation and national unity. We'll pause now for a brief commercial break. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed new initiatives by Qatari investors to explore opportunities in the agricultural sector and assured that Nigeria remains open to strategic partnerships. The president gave the assurance when he received a special envoy from the Emir of the State of Qatar, led by the Qatar's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Mohammed bin Abdul Aziz Al Khulaifi. In a statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, President Tinubu emphasized Nigeria's readiness to build on the momentum generated by his state visit to Qatar in 2024, pledging to implement all bilateral agreements between the two countries. He directed the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, to work together to ensure the timely execution of these agreements. The President acknowledges that the Qatari government had demonstrated maturity and foresight in working for global peace and deserves commendation. The President said Nigeria's partnership with Qatar can be improved by looking into food sovereignty and economic prosperity. The Qatar's minister conveyed the Emir's desire to strengthen the strategic partnership with Nigeria, particularly in peace building, agriculture, and petrochemicals. He expressed pride in the current level of relations and looked forward to expanding both government-to-government and people-to-people ties. The Nigerian Air Force has reaffirmed its commitments to deepen collaboration with the Nigerian Army as it accelerates efforts to recalibrate operational strategies to counter Nigeria's evolving security threats. Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimene Jodame, indicates that the Chief of the Air Staff and Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar affirmed this during a lecture delivered to participants of Army War College, Nigeria in Abuja. With the theme, Military Strategic Leadership in Air Operations, Air Marshal Abubakar outlined NAV's enhanced concepts of operations tailored to deliver decisive and synchronized effects in joint military campaigns. Air Marshal Abubakar highlighted the Air Warfare and Doctrine Center-led air-to-ground integration initiative, which now serves as a critical framework for harmonizing air and land operations.
Of air assets, including manned and unmanned platforms, singly or jointly, to achieve decisive air power effects. We also leverage advanced communication networks and data links to facilitate real-time information sharing.
The NAF remains committed to leading in air-to-ground integration to ensure coordinated and efficient battlefield outcomes. Still on security, the welfare of police personnel will be given a special consideration and operational assets will be provided to them to carry out internal security assignments effectively. The Minister of Police Affairs gave the assurance during a visit to the Nigeria Police Trust Fund. Francis Fom brings us the details.
This is the first time the leadership of the Ministry of Police Affairs is visiting the Nigeria Police Trust Fund. As a supervising ministry, the delegation emphasized the need for deeper collaboration with the Trust Fund in key areas including the provision of modern equipment, renovation of barracks, and construction of standard police stations nationwide. This partnership, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry said, is essential to delivering on President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which prioritizes national security and the welfare of security personnel.
Understanding your operational framework and identifying areas where the ministry can provide support and facilitate your work is of utmost importance to us.
Despite early challenges, we have implemented numerous impactful interventions from infrastructure and vehicles to training, welfare, technology, logistics across commands nationwide.
The visit marks a significant steps towards harmonizing efforts to uplift the standards of policing and ensure a safer and more secure Nigeria. Francis from NTA News.
In a major push to break barriers and keep girls in schools, Jigawa State has launched a large-scale distribution of free school uniforms and sports kits to female students. This initiative aims to tackle the economic hurdles that often force girls out of classrooms while fostering confidence and inclusion through sports. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
At the Girls Science Secondary School in Jahun, it was a day of celebration and renewed hope. The state government officially flagged off the distribution of 30,000 school uniforms and 593 tracksuits, among other sports kits, to female secondary school students across the 3 senatorial zones of Jigawa. The initiative is part of broader educational reforms rolled out by the present administration with a special focus on girl child education, from making education free for girls from basic to university level to awarding robust scholarships both locally and abroad for students in critical fields. Jigawa State is making deliberate investments that will shape the future. The school uniforms and sports facilities were officially handed over to the zonal directors of education representing the state 3 senatorial zones.
This is a deliberate attempt to ensure that our education system is not only for white-collar job, but also for technical job where middle-level manpower and also even a higher-level manpower on technology basis is produced in Jigawa State.
With these initiatives, stakeholders say Jigawa State is setting a commendable example in promoting equity in education and ensuring that no girl is left behind in the quest for knowledge and national development.
Thanks you, Your Excellency, for the free uniform. Thank you for your leadership.
A powerful message from Jahun is that investing in girls today means securing a stronger and more educated Nigeria tomorrow. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Residents of Gayawa and neighboring communities in Kano State are set to bid farewell to decades of environmental degradation that have cost countless lives and homes as 11 billion naira erosion control project gets underway. Ahead of the commencement of work, about 200 residents received 600 million naira in compensation from the state government. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
For years, residents of Bulbula and Gayawa communities have been living under the threat of severe gully erosion, which claimed lives, destroyed homes, and served as a haven for criminals. Following a recent visit by Governor Abakabir Yusuf, all is now set for the commencement of an 11 billion naira control project. As part of the initiative, Saleh Sabo Ibrahim received 11.1 million naira in compensation for his property. The disbursement is part of a larger 600 million naira compensation package provided under the Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes (AgriSal) program.
In addition to this compensation, our administration is fully committed to delivering the engineering work that will resolve this erosion problem once and for all.
Governor Yusuf described the project as a significant milestone in the state's efforts to reclaim the affected communities, promising close monitoring to ensure quality and timely delivery. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Let's go live to Lagos for the latest news. Ed Hingino has the details. Hingino, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Lagos. Nigeria needs a strong pencom industry that will provide long-term investment facility to boost economic growth. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Olawale Edun, made this known while urging leaders in the pencom industry to sustain the achievement attained in the sector. Lanre Bele has details.
This is a convergence of pencom industry leaders for the 3-day retreat. They are rubbing minds on sustaining the industry for economic development.
An important source of security.
Well, we're having some network issues with signals from Lagos there, and so we continue our stories here in Abuja. When the signals improve, we shall get back to Hinginu for those reports. Now, ECOWAS Ministers of Science and Technology have resolved to initiate policy framework that prioritizes support for youth programs in innovation. This was contained in the Cotonou Declaration issued as the close of the ministerial session of the ECOWAS Forum of Africa Research and Innovation. That report is being packaged and we shall bring it to you subsequently. Time now to bring you some messages as we take a break.
Declaration is an adoption by the body of ECOWAS Ministers of Science and Technology. In the document, they agreed to pursue a common goal of creating policies to aid young innovators in the sub-region, to transform them into entrepreneurs who will champion the region's prosperity goal of ECOWAS.
This scientific recommendation should try to align with what is actually affecting us as a sub-region. We discussed about issue of transport this morning with one of my colleagues who wanted to go to Gambia, but he had to travel from Ghana to Côte d'Ivoire to this and that. These are things that science should be able to handle for us.
For the countries, we cannot oblige a country to, but we are going to monitor with them how to implement all these recommendations.
For ECOWAS, the commitment of member states to the implementation of the FARI objective is one capable of energizing the Commission to do more, working with young people in driving ECOWAS Vision 2050. From Cotonou, Benin Republic, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Well, Kelvin was able to successfully package that report, which we just brought to you. We now bring you those messages. We're now getting back to Hingino in Lagos for those stories as the signals have improved. Hingino, let's have the stories.
Thank you, Lami. As we told you earlier, Nigeria needs a strong pencom industry that will provide long-term investment facility to boost economic growth. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Olawale Edun, made this known while urging leaders in the pencom industry to sustain the achievement attained in the sector. Lanre Bele has details.
This is a convergence of pencom industry leaders for the 3-day retreat. They are rubbing minds on sustaining the industry for economic development. Minister of Finance Wale Edun, while speaking to these big wigs in the nation's pencom industry, says though considerable achievement has been made, there is need to still do more.
Pension industry, which is about 23 trillion naira strong right now, is an important source of savings for workers, an important source of security for them, and at the same time, it is an important source of long-term financing for the economy.
Director General of PENCAM describes the retreat as a way to cross-pollinate ideas and vision for the industry's growth.
Number of private sector leadership here with us, so we can talk, exchange ideas,
and on the basis of that, be able to chart a path forward in terms of the strategy.
We believe that as an industry, we must now begin to focus on the now and the future.
Investments in areas of infrastructure, agriculture, business schemes, and other sectors were discussed through the lens of Pencom industry expertise. In Lagos, Larry Bileyi, NTA News.
And talking health, the present administration's industrialization policy, which encourages local manufacturing, is gradually achieving its purpose in the medical field. Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who is spearheading regulation and control of medicines and medical equipment manufacture, says Nigeria recently achieved another WHO pre-qualification of an auto-disable syringe. As of 2023, the number of syringes Nigeria was producing only met 20% of the nation's demand. This means about 80% were imported, and the data is worrisome. But there is good news. Nigeria can now produce more 0.5 mils auto-disabled syringes, a big achievement as the burden of importing syringes will now reduce. This is coming as a benefit of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC's attainment of the World Health Organization's Maturity Level 3 for national medicines regulatory authorities. The agency is now recognized as a reliable, well-functioning regulatory authority for medicines and vaccines produced both locally and imported.
As of 2023, only 3 of the 7 indigenous syringes manufacturers were functional. The 3 functional facilities have a combined installed capacity of over 2.5 billion syringes per annum.
Professor Adeyeye is optimistic that the country will get more pre-qualifications to improve the safety of Nigerians. The attainment of maturity level 3 by the nation will further boost the health sector. Those are the stories from Lagos. Network News continues with Benny Adams on the business segment.
Well, thank you, Hingino. And talking business, the Securities and Exchange Commission says the implementation of the new Securities and Investment Act 2025 is in full force, as several arrests have been made and prosecution of Ponzi scheme operators ongoing. This is as the SEC continues its campaign against Ponzi schemes, this time at the Day Furniture Market in Abuja.
Currently, we have some illegal operators in court. We have Oxford, which is very well known, and some other ones. And not only the illegal ones, even the legal ones that acted in an illegal manner, some of them are also in court, like UK Dion, which is a registered operator, but fleeced people of their hard-earned money, so the SEC goes after them.
We will hit every form of communication channel, whether it be radio, whether it's television, every avenue. So no, it's not just in Abuja. And we're going to do it all across the country.
Now, looking at the currency market, the Naira is not doing badly with marginal gains during the week owing to renewed interventions by the Apex Bank aimed at easing pressure on the local currency and reducing volatility. As you can see, the Naira actually closed at 1,630 at the BDC. The Great Britain pounds was 2,170, euro 1,805, and the yuan is 215. And moving forward, that official rate is slightly like market operators who say is actually narrowing the gap between both rates, which suggests growing effectiveness of the recent monetary policies by the CBN. Now, looking at the energy market at this same time, Nigeria's globally priced crude oil, the Bonny Light, is at its best again appreciating by 62 cents to beat UK's Brent crude and the United States West Texas Intermediate crude. And looking at the Nigerian stock market at this time, well, today the Nigerian stock market is actually on the red, with Tunisia Tune Index also on the red, but South Africa actually bounced back appreciating marginally by 1.07% at this point. This is it on business at this time. Hello.
Thank you, Benny. You're watching Network News at 9. Nigeria has congratulated the Federal Republic of Germany on the election of Friedrich Merz as the country's new chancellor, describing the outcome as a testament to Germany's enduring democratic values. A statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs praised the peaceful and transparent electoral process that led to Merz's victory after securing 325 votes in the 630-seat Bundestag on Tuesday, May 6th. Nigeria also expressed optimism in deepening strategic partnership with Germany under the new leadership to focus in key areas such as trade, investment, security, and sustainable development to further advance multilateral cooperation. Through platforms like the United Nations, the ministry assured Nigeria's support to work closely with Merz administration for the benefits of both nations and the global community. We now take a break. Thank you for staying. Sports News is next with Bade.
All right, let's begin from the grassroots. As Afeni Ladies and Golden Sun Sports Club have booked their sports in the semi-finals of the women's tournament of the 2025 Bayelsa State Governors Cup, known as Prosperity Cup. In a game played at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenagoa, Afeni Ladies beat Crystal Stars 3-1 on penalties after playing 1-0 at the end of regulation time, while Golden Sun hammered Bayelsa State College of Nursing 5-0. Both teams joined the duo of Bayelsa Stars Queens and S1 Academy in the final.
What I know is that my team underrated them because they have been winning them, friendly man, winning them 7-0, 10-0, so they use that same mentality to the game. And that is, if it was the first half, you see that was happening. So we'll give glory to God. Next time, we'll prepare well and come out victorious.
We're so elated, we're so happy. Initially, the girls were G3 because of the kind of opponent, due to the fact that this team has been there for long. But I tried to motivate them.
Still talking women's football, the Women's World Cup will be expanded from 32 to 48 teams in time for the 2035 tournament in the United Kingdom after the decision was taken during a virtual FIFA Council meeting on Friday. It will take effect from 2031 when the Women's World Cup is due to be staged in the United States. It means the number of matches will jump from 64 under the 32-team format to 104, as will be the case at the Men's World Cup in 2026 in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Now, Xabi Alonso says he will not be addressing his future until after the season, despite announcing he will be leaving the Bundesliga side at the end of the season. After 2.5 years together, including a memorable domestic invincible season and winning both the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal, Alonso is set to leave the Black and Reds this summer, with the Spaniard heavily linked with the Real Madrid job should current boss Carlo Ancelotti depart. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Lime.
Thank you, Buddy. And that's Network News this Friday. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a good weekend.